This is the Dover Download Podcast. My name is Christopher Parker, and for the past 25 years, I've had the pleasure of working with, learning from, and talking to a variety of volunteer, staff, and community members. This podcast explores conversations, activities, and a variety of policies and programs which exist here in Dover to improve the community in one way or another. We all have felt that nip in the air, and it must mean that fall is coming upon us. And the kickoff of fall, for me at least, is Apple Harvest Day here in Dover, and that occurs on October 5th, 2024. Today we're going to hear from the Chamber of Commerce, talk to Margaret and Jed about what we can expect at Apple Harvest Day 2024, which, welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I recall correctly, Margaret, this is the 40th year of Apple Harvest Day.
It is. It's quite a milestone when you think of how far we've come and how big it has grown over the years. But yeah, 40 years for this event.
I'm going to guess that it's the oldest of the Chamber children, if we consider events Chamber children.
Correct. Cocheco Arts Festival is running a close second. Yep. Festival of Trees is still in its infancy at about 14 years, and the road race is, I think this is the 16th year.
Ooh, so. 14 years. That's it's getting ready for its teenage rebellion.
Yes. We look forward to that.
Jed, what can you tell us about Apple Harvest Day?
Very excited. This is my first one, so learning a lot as I go. But I grew up here in Dover, so this is my first one running it.
I was going to say.
I've been to many. They were always a staplehood of childhood and fall. I'm just really excited to kind of be on the other end of it and see it from this perspective. We got, over 300 vendors, and everything that's coming together as far as the different acts that'll be at the Rotary stage and attractions. So I'm looking forward to it.
And is it safe to presume, if you've been before, you recognize or will recognize the layout being down 3rd Street, down Central, up Henry Law, through the park, and then sort of terminating around Payne Street?
There's a couple of little flip-flops this year, and Jed can talk about the entertainment stage. But yes, we have Lower Henry Law. We have a lot of vendors lined up there, but the kid zone and one of the food courts is in Lower Henry Law.
Great.
And then as you proceed across Washington Street, you'll see wildlife encounters right at Upper Henry Law. And as Jed mentioned, we have entertainment on the stage, the Rotary stage, all day long. And then you move up Central Ave. Both sides of the street are lined with vendors. And then you go down some of the side streets. More vendors. We have the Auto Alley coming back this year. DuPont's is bringing some cars. In fact, they're still looking for more cars if anyone has an antique car they'd like to bring out. And then we will also have a food court on 3rd Street located in the Ross Furniture parking lot. And then there's a few more vendors continuing up that way. And it terminates with the Calling All Cargo truck, which is parked strategically across Upper and Central Ave.
From the standpoint of the entertainment, that's been something that really has been broadening over the past few years. And I think evolving both in the amount, but also the styles, the diversity that we've had. Is that something that we can expect more of this year?
Yeah, so at the Rotary stage in Upper Henry Law Park, we're going to have a variety of performers. They're all community, local performers. So we're going to have everything from step dancing to ballet. And then the one that we're really excited for is the U.S. Navy Band will be performing.
Oh, wow. How does it work getting a group like that?
Oh, Chris, I'm so excited. They approached us, which I think is sort of a testament to how big Apple Harvest Day has grown.
Yeah.
We do like to keep the Rotary stage local. It's a chance for a lot of these organizations that Jed mentioned to come out and showcase their talents. But the U.S. Navy Band reached out to us and selected us as one of the locations that they would like to do this fall. Then once we said, we'd love to have you, then there was a lot of red tape. I had to fill out applications. It took a while, but when we got the okay, we were thrilled. So they'll be coming up from the Navy College in Newport, Rhode Island, and it's the Jack Tar Brass Band. They'll be doing pop favorites with some jazz elements, so it should be a terrific performance. They're going to close out the day from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock at Rotary stage. So we are beyond excited about that, but we also have a new development in the other acoustic stage, a change of venue and a change of management that we're really excited about.
Yeah, so in the past, we've had our acoustic stage in Waldron Court, but this year we are moving it to the Cocheco Mill courtyard.
Nice.
And that's going to be run by a new local business called Milk Street Studios.
Oh, great.
So they have put together the lineup for that, and they'll be running sound, which I think is just a great partnership. And it's also a very exciting new business that's offering a place for musicians to rent out practice space and studio space.
You know, what's always struck me about Apple Harvest Day, and I say always, and I'm probably thinking more the past 20 years, is that it's a really good blend of local businesses, local crafters, and more regional vendors. But at the same time, it attracts locals that have enjoyed Apple Harvest Day for many of the 40 years. But also it's become a regional draw. It's become a thing that you look forward to if you don't live in Dover, because it's a great opportunity to come and explore and experience what the community offers.
Well, that's very true. And we do know anecdotally that people come from far and away to come to Apple Harvest Day, whether they grew up here, they've moved away, and it's their annual tradition to come back. A lot of people also, this is peak foliage season here in New Hampshire, and what they'll do is they'll look for things to do. You can't just look at the leaves all day. They want activities. So Apple Harvest Day does pop up. We put it on the state tourism website and in all of the other local calendars and try to get the word out as much as we can. So when people are looking for things to do on a nice fall weekend, Apple Harvest Day pops up. So that's why our attendance essentially doubles the population of Dover for the day. It's definitely locals. We have people who come every year, but then we have new people who just sort of hear about us organically.
Are we going to be blessed with a little campaign alley? It is an election year.
We welcome candidates to come and walk the festival, but this is not intended to be an electioneering or a canvassing event. Sometimes they'll stay by the booths. The Dover Democrats have a booth, the Dover Republicans, but politicians, either currently elected or running for office, are welcome to come to anybody is welcome to come to the festival. But it's not intended to be a, get out the vote kind of
it's
thing.
Not
it's
a rally.
Meet and greet. It's not a rally. And we do actually, if we see people acting in a certain way, we ask them to keep to their booth. Part of it is for egress. We want the crowds. If you've been to Apple Harvest Day, you know how tough it is to get down Central Ave. So,
right. We talked about the band closing out the day. Does the day start off with the annual race?
Oh, I thought you were going to start with the first bite ceremony. But yes, So I'll talk about the race. Jed can talk about the first bite ceremony. So yes, I manage the race, which is hilarious because I've never run a step in my life. But so the Apple Harvest Day 5K is in its 16th year, and it's part of the Dover Race Series, sponsored this year by Portsmouth Regional Hospital, and it goes off at 8:30. We expect to have about 500 runners. That's been sort of our sweet spot over the years. We will have Mike Pomp from WTSN calling, announcing the race. He does a phenomenal job for us. And we hope to have Miss Stratford County holding the break tape at the end for the winners coming along. Last year, I will say, my son finished number 2. We'll see how he does this year. But we're
2 overall or 2 in his age group?
2 overall. Yes.
Great.
Yes. Yeah. He's a fast little guy. So we are very excited about that. And then after the race, we started, I think 4 or 5 years ago, a cider garden. We partner with North Country Cider to have people who have enjoyed the race, or other people can come and enjoy some of the North Country hard cider. We also have their non-alcoholic sparkling cider for people who don't want the alcoholic. We have Revo, the casino down the road here, helping to underwrite that for us. And Nemo Equipment brings some of their tables and chairs out for people to sit and enjoy. And new this year, also very excited, we have these custom cornhole boards that one of our members' dads made for us, and then Port City Makerspace.
Yeah, Port City Makerspace helped put our Apple Harvest Day logo on them.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that has grown year after year. We've got the New Hampshire Coffee Roasters guys going to be out there in the morning with their phenomenal coffee. So it's a terrific event. And when the race is over, I then sort of run down to the festival and put a different hat on, but from about 5 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon, I'll be doing the race. But I thought you were going to ask about the first bite ceremony, so I'll let you.
So what's the first bite?
Yeah.
I've heard about this.
Have you? You should come.
I need more information.
So at 9 o'clock at the Rotary Art Stage, we'll have our first bite ceremony with some opening remarks, as well as the Dover High School Marching Band will play the national anthem just to kick off the festival.
Yeah, it officially opens it, and we just have a little fun with it. We literally have apples, and the mayor and a few other people will come down and be there. I have invited the governor And I hope this isn't in extremely poor taste, but in case somebody chokes, he'll be there to...
Oh, nice.
I don't know if he's really
That's
coming,
good.
but I'm invited. I put that in the invitation.
Does the first bite replace the pie contest, or is that...
No.
We'll still have the pie
Change
contest.
is good, but we don't want to...
Oh, yeah.
The pie contest will be at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I invited the governor to that one too. Again, just in case somebody chokes. Yeah, and WOKQ, one of our partners, runs that for us, so they'll be putting the link on their website. We'll have it as well. But if you've got a great pie recipe, feel free to enter. It's free to enter, and we've got some local celebrity judges coming out to see who makes the best pie here in Dover.
If I haven't been in a few years, what should I look for? What stands out as a more recent evolution?
Well, I think two things. I'll let you talk about the comm room, if you would, but I would like to point out, Chris, that this year we have more crafters than we have in the past.
Oh, great.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
At its heart, Apple Harvest Day is a craft festival.
Right.
Certainly, other businesses are welcome to have booths, nonprofits, but at its heart, it's a craft festival. And for whatever reason, more crafters have chosen to participate this year. Good and bad, we actually sold out. There's only so much real estate on the footprint. We have 300 vendor spots. We sold out in July. So we've got a waiting list of about 60 businesses, crafters, individuals who want a space, and we just may not be able to accommodate everybody this year. So it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I mentioned that the acoustic stage was being moved from Waldron Court to Kachiko Mill Courtyard. The reason for that is that at Waldron Court, we'll now have a calm area. So that'll include a first aid station, also just some tents for anyone who needs to get away from some of the noise and busyness and distractions of the festival. Gives people a chance to relax a little bit, get out of the hustle and bustle. There's also an area for mothers, the lactation station.
So I think one of the keystones of Apple Harvest Day is how much support you get from the community and beyond. Can you tell us about some of the sponsors that might be participating this year?
Yeah, and that really is vital, Chris, because one of the things we pride ourselves on is we keep our events, both Kachiko Arts Festival, Festival of Trees, Apple Harvest Day, free and open to the public. There's no fee to attend. It's free. But there are a lot of costs associated with putting on a festival of this magnitude. So we are extremely fortunate to have very generous sponsors, starting off with First Seacoast Bank, who has been a long-time underwriter of the festival.
Right.
And then going down from there, we have a lot of different venues sponsored. The acoustic stage is sponsored by Urban Tree Service. We've got a sponsor for the Family Respite Area, which is Dover Rotary. Also, we're going to have Wentworth Douglas Hospital there providing, as Jed indicated, some medical services as well. The Dover Women's Club is going to staff that for us. But the food courts are sponsored. The U.S. Navy Band is being sponsored by New England Sports Hub that just is opening up in Somersworth. So honestly, too many to mention right now, but please give them some love on our website, appleharvestday.com. You can see them all listed. We have new ones signing up every day and could not do it without them.
As we wrap up, I'm thinking I will walk to it because I live close enough, but someone that might not have that ability, how would they best get to Apple Harvest Day?
So we'll have several different shuttles running. There's a few different parking lots you can park in, and then the shuttle will take you to the event. The parking lots are located on Locust Street for the south route, as well as...
There's another one on Central Ave. I forget the exact numbers, but the information will be on our website and very well signed.
Yeah. And then there's also a northern route, and we will be using Liberty Mutual's parking lot. So you can park there, and there will be a shuttle running all day long, taking people to and from the event.
And they'll drop people off on Washington Street right in front of the Children's Museum. And again, couldn't do it without the generosity of our supporters. Coast Bus is donating a bus for the day and doing the north route. And then on the southern route, St. Thomas Academy is loaning us one of their smaller buses, as well as Spring Village, one of the assisted living retirement communities here in Dover. So again, very generous. In-kind sponsors as well as monetary sponsors help make this day a huge success for us.
Well, I think that really covers the breadth of the event, and I appreciate you both coming in today. Is there anything else you want to leave the listener with that maybe hasn't come up yet?
We are always wanting to remind people that if you can't get to Apple Harvest Day, or if you get there and you wish you had bought something, the vendors will stay up on appleharvestday.com all year. So you can find your favorite vendors there and shop throughout the year. The other thing, again, it's the 40th. We're very excited. We're going to have a merchandise website through Blue Dolphin Screen Printing, where if people want to get some Apple Harvest Day merchandise, they'll be able to do so. And we'll have a QR code on our website, but also at the info booth, the chamber info booth, if people want to get some gear. And we'll have a few things for sale at the chamber booth as well, but I'll leave that as a surprise.
You remind me of a question. Thinking about the 40th anniversary, do you or does the chamber have a sense of what year one was like? How many participants? How many vendors?
Yeah, it's and many of you know Donna Rinaldi, who's been around the chamber for many, many years, owned a business in the city, and has been a great friend of the chamber forever. She actually was around back then and tells us it started on Orchard Street, which is why it's Apple Harvest Day. And there were about a dozen vendors then. But really, there was a driving force for the downtown merchants, thinking of Pam Simpson at Harvey's Bakery, to make it more of like a downtown sidewalk sale type of a day. That's sort of how it started, a very small local.
Yep.
And it has just grown exponentially over the years. You could never imagined back then that, the U.S. Navy Band would be calling you up saying, hey, we want to perform at Apple Harvest Day. So kudos to those people back in the day who had a vision, had the enthusiasm and the determination to make this happen.
It's one of those things. I think you need to be in awe of the folks that started it, but then be thankful of the people that came back the second year. Because without a second year, you wouldn't have the chance to have a 40th year.
Well, that's very true. There are so many people who really, they're still around. We know them. They're business owners here, but they sort of worked hard back then and stepped back a little bit and have allowed the changes, the vision, and have embraced that. They've been very supportive. They could have been very easily saying, oh, it's not the way it used to be, but they seem very supportive and very happy to have it here. Apple Harvest Day does wreak a little bit of havoc downtown. There's no question. Some of the downtown businesses suffer, but for the most part, it is an economic boon to the city, and most people see it as a positive, and we're grateful for that.
Well, congratulations to the chamber on a 40th anniversary like this. Look forward to enjoying it myself. And Jed, I hope you have fun as your first working experience there.
I can't wait.
Have
Maybe
a great day.
he'll come back next year. We'll see. Thank you,
Benchmark
Chris.
for success. It came back.
Jed came back for year two.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
As we are entering the final quarter of the year, it's time to look back at what happened in September. And I'm going to be joined today by Aaron Basagio of the Planning Department and Brian Early of the Media Services Department to look back on the past month and the activities that our boards, commissions, and committees have undertaken. Aaron, let's start with you this month. What's going on in the land use world?
So there were a number of meetings in September. The Arts Commission met and talked about some of their ongoing projects. One of them, they're proposing a metal sculpture that would lead from Central Ave down to Joe Park's garden, a metal sculpture. And they're already working with a local artist, but they'll need to do some fundraising, so those efforts will be started soon. And you'll actually, if you want to learn more about it, you can come to the planning booth at Apple Harvest Day. We'll have some information there. ZBA met twice in September, first for a special meeting to review 2 rehearing requests. They denied 1 rehearing request for variance that had been granted previously for a mixed-use project at 239 Knox Marsh Road, and they approved the second rehearing request. That's for a variance related to parking lot location for a residential proposal on Locust Street.
So a rehearing request is a little bit different than the actual rehearing. It is just a can you rehear us scenario. There's no new testimony. There's no public hearing, right? It's as simple as it actually is.
Correct. And so the approved rehearing request, you'll be hearing more about in the coming months when that actual rehearing is rescheduled. And the second time the ZBA met in September, they approved a variance request and upheld some administrative decisions regarding that same residential proposal on Locust Street. The Energy Commission met, and one of their ongoing projects took another step forward in September when the City Council authorized a letter of intent to work with Revision Energy on an exploratory phase to install a solar array at the wastewater treatment facility on Middle Road. And City Council also approved some amendments related to the Community Development Block Grant Action Plans. We talked about that in August when Planning Board endorsed those amendments. And the amendments include funding additional projects for CAP, My Friend's Place, as well as some accessible picnic tables downtown. And the Conservation Commission endorsed 2 CUPs. Those are for a project for Del Sol Dover. They're proposing a subdivision, an extension of Crosby Road, and the construction of a warehouse on one of the subdivided lots. And Planning Board met once in September. They approved a lot line adjustment and minor subdivision, and then 4 applications related to that project on Crosby Road that Conservation Commission reviewed and endorsed. And again, that project will involve a 3-lot subdivision, a paved extension of Crosby Road, and one of those lots will be developed. That involves a construction of a warehouse that a Dover company, Morginus Lawn Care, they'll be moving into once constructed. And finally, the Planning Board voted to set impact fees for all development at $0. That's effective from their September 24th meeting. Staff will now be reviewing the decision and creating policy related to that decision by Planning Board. And this comes after many months of consideration as well as an analysis on impact fees. So there will be much more to come on that, and we'll be sharing it here and throughout all city communications.
So, Brian, Aaron teed you up a little, gave you a couple items that the council then acted upon that the Planning Board had acted on before. What else did the City Council tackle in the month of September?
Thanks, Chris. The City Council held a workshop at the beginning of the month to get an update from the Solid Waste Advisory Committee on the future of curbside trash and recycling collection and disposal in the city. The city's 5-year contract with Waste Management expires at the end of the fiscal year on June 30th. The city, led by the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, also known as SWAG, has been leading the effort to parse through the different options. Part of the workshop included 2-year and 7-year extension proposals offered by Waste Management. The 7-year extension would convert to a toter-based system beginning in year 3, eliminating the bag and tag system. What the City Council will need to do in the coming weeks is decide whether to extend the contract for 2 years, 7 years, or put a new contract out to bid entirely. But the City Council made no decisions yet on that. In waterfront news, the Waterfront Advisory Committee had endorsed a long-term ground lease with Great Bay Rowing, which would allow them to build a boathouse on the waterfront site. City Council was scheduled to take up that ground lease for further discussion and possible authorization, but that was pulled from the agenda to allow for more review both locally and on the state. And that's some of the highlights of the City Council's workshops and meetings this past month.
So regarding the Great Bay Rowing aspect in the resolution, that had stemmed from a waterfront committee decision to endorse the ground lease down at Nebby Park, as well as approve the boathouse design. And that was done at an earlier meeting in September that Quiddick held, its first since April. Moving forward, while Great Bay's lease was pulled from the agenda on the 25th, it is moving forward. We're just looking at some aspects both that local residents had raised questions about, but also the land that we're looking to utilize is governed by a restrictive easement that we have based on some grant funding through the Land Water Conservation Fund. So as part of that funding, the state has the right to review any and all activities within Nebby Park. This includes the pavilion that the city is building, as well as the dock system and proposed boathouse. So we're working with the state on that review. We had hoped to have sign-offs prior to the city council, and in discussing with the city attorney and the city manager, we decided it was best to wait until all sign-offs were in place to have the council take action so that we don't create any conflict or any sense that we're not going through the proper channels, which is certainly what we want to do, is follow the right path. That will come back forward once the state has signed off on the ability for the city to actually lease the land within Nebby Park. As always, we appreciate folks tuning in and listening to what happened in the month of September. We look forward to talking about October when it culminates. Dover has a wealth of history in its over 400 years of existence. Coming up, Mike Gillis is going to share some of that history with us.
This week in 1985, preparations were in full swing for the very first Apple Harvest Day in Dover. The event was started by a group of downtown business owners known as the Apple Corps, who wanted to showcase that downtown Dover was still vibrant and active. On October 12th of that year, the inaugural Apple Harvest Day drew thousands of visitors to the city. Festivities kicked off at 5:30 that morning with Apple-themed breakfast specials at local restaurants like pancakes, muffins, and more. Throughout the day, attendees enjoyed farm stands selling apples, pumpkins, pears, and other fall produce. The highlight was the Best Apple Pie Contest, where community members competed to bake the tastiest apple pie. The pies were judged and sampled at the Dover Public Library. The library also hosted a cookbook tasting event by the Friends of the Library group. The festival included a large craft fair with almost 50 vendors set up at 2 locations on Central Avenue. Shoppers could browse pottery, wood crafts, baked goods, and more local crafts. For kids, there was a petting zoo on Central Avenue where they could get up close with farm animals like cows, goats, and lambs. Several live music acts performed at the band show at Henry Law Park. The lineup included the New England Sports Academy gymnastics team, Dover Elementary School chorus singing as Pour Us, B.J. Hickman's Magic Apple Show, and the White Mountain Cloggers. The centerpiece was a parade that afternoon through downtown Dover by the Dover High School Band. The band also put on a show at Dunaway Field in the evening. Local restaurant Firehouse One offered dinner from 5 to 10 that night, along with music by the Charlie Jennison Quartet. There were also activities for kids like relay races and costume contests at Henry Law Park, as well as strolling clowns, fiddlers, and apple mascots in costume. A Halloween costume exchange at the library let children trade costumes and get new ideas. One unique attraction was tethered hot air balloon rides, taking place by the wading pool at Henry Law Park. Visitors could soar above the festival in a hot air balloon and take in the aerial views of Apple Harvest Day. For just 25 cents, visitors could take trolley tour rides around Dover and learn about the history of the city. The Woodman Museum also offered tours, showcasing Dover's past. As its founders had hoped, Apple Harvest Day became a tradition that continues to this day. Now organized by the Greater Dover Chamber of Commerce, the festival has grown over the decades, attracting tens of thousands of people to Dover, and remains a beloved regional event, showcasing all that Dover has to offer.
Thanks for listening to the Dover Download this week. If you like what you heard, subscribe through your favorite podcast aggregator. And if you have something you want to hear a topic on, let us know. Finally, this is just one of the many ways we share information about the city of Dover. You can subscribe to the Dover Downloads email newsletter every week or other newsletters that we have by going to the City of Dover homepage, www.dover.nh.gov. Have a great week.